Welcome everyone, they call me Intro Tech Out and I think Dreams really deserves to be talked about more. In this video I will explain why I think the marketing for Dreams hasn't been getting many people excited for the game. Keep in mind though that I'm not a business guy by any stretch of the imagination and I'm purely speaking from the point of a consumer, with the intent to bring this problem to the forefront so it can be openly discussed. In this video I'm discovering problems I see with the marketing, but I also want to make a follow-up video to this one in which I give my own ideas for how Media Molecule could market Dreams in a way that captures people's interest. So for the intro, let's get into it. If you have followed Dreams closely, you will have spotted a lot of patterns with people who interview the developers or are shown the game. Often they're really skeptical at first, then they start realizing how much you can make, then they raise some concerns, often that they are not creative, and Media Molecule shows them why the concerns aren't justified. After that, the interviewers start opening up more and more, and half an hour later they are completely in love with the game and gush about it afterwards. This happened a lot. Almost everyone who has had an extended conversation with the developers leaves that day with excitement for the game. But why does this happen time and time again? Well, I don't think the excitement is weird. Dreams is genuinely an exciting game, but the skepticism at the beginning, I think that there is a problem. I mean, the only reason why you would feel different about a game before and after seeing it in action is if you learned something new that you didn't know before, right? You can probably see now where I'm going with this. The mere fact that people are not that interested in a game they should be interested in according to their preferences shows that they did not know enough about it from beforehand. In other words, the marketing has been a disaster. This should not be a surprise to anyone. Dreams is a hugely ambitious game that is so unlike other games you almost can't elevator pitch it. It has tons of different aspects that only once you bring them all together you start getting an idea of why Dreams could be awesome. So because there are so many aspects to this game, it's not too weird that it takes like half an hour before people start to understand it. To illustrate why the marketing hasn't really worked so far, let's take a look at the Game Awards 2017 Dreams trailer and I will explain to you why I think it doesn't work. Why that trailer in particular? Because it shows the most of the game and I think it's a clear example of the difference between Dreams and Little Big Planet. You can see the trailer running in the background right now. If you've seen it already and have also played the Little Big Planet games, this trailer should give off a very familiar LBP-like vibe. It's basically an introduction to the story mode with a montage of cool already created stuff and a short showcase of how the creation mode works. It also totally has that play, create, share vibe you know from the Little Big Planet trailers. But the main reason why it worked there and doesn't here is because Little Big Planet didn't require an explanation for how the game plays. This is of course because we as humans are good at associating things. When we see a trailer for a new first-person shooter, we don't need an in-depth explanation for how the mechanics will work to be able to make a purchasing decision. We know how first-person shooters in general work, and most of what sets the new one apart from the other ones is easily conveyed with a few gameplay clips. The same with Little Big Planet. We knew how to recognize a platformer, and what set LBP apart from the other ones was a focus on creativity, which could be, once again, easily conveyed with a few gameplay clips. The problem is that this association also happens with the Dreams trailers. People who see the game for the first time will not learn more than what the trailer provides, but still think they got a complete picture of the game. But before I explain all of this and go in depth into the trailer, I want to make clear that I personally loved it and the trailer continues to get me excited every time I watch it. I'm however going to analyze the trailer from a standpoint of a bit more casual gamer who hasn't seen anything about Dreams yet, which is why I will sound negative for the next few minutes. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's analyze this trailer. It first shows a bit of the story portion of the game, and this is unfortunately already where the trailer starts to lose the first people. Instead of giving a clear idea of what to expect from the story, the trailer gives the viewer a montage of weird and fake scenes accompanied by a voiceover that doesn't make anything any more clear whatsoever. I bet that quite a few people saw this and went, too artsy for me, I'm out. I think that another problem here is that no gameplay is shown. Without gameplay, there's just nothing to get excited about for most viewers. And yes, you can get away with it with some other games, but that's once again because of expectations. If a viewer knows from beforehand a certain game is an open world RPG, and the trailer for the game just pans around landscapes for 2 minutes, they will still have learned something, because they now have an expectation of what the open world will look like. If the viewer doesn't know from beforehand what kind of game it is, however, the trailer is just going to confuse them. Is Dreams first person or third person? What will the story actually be about? Is it an action-adventure game or is it a walking simulator? Can I play with multiple people or is it completely single player? There are so many questions that don't get answered with this trailer. Anyway, the next part of the trailer is where they show off the creation mode. This is the point where it becomes clear that Dreams is too big and too ambitious to explain in a 2-minute trailer, because it very briefly shows a level coming together from pre-made assets and someone creating a new skin for the main character, but that's it. If you don't understand why this massively undersells the creative mode, here's what they didn't show. They didn't show sculpting of assets. They didn't show gameplay logic. They didn't show character creation. They didn't show music creation, animation creation. They didn't show how sharing works, and most importantly, nothing is shown about how versatile the creation tools are and how you make anything in Dreams in the first place. Because if you see this trailer for the first time and had no prior knowledge about Dreams, you have no idea how creating things even works, and how easy and hopefully fun it will be. Even worse, you might get the impression that the create mode of this game is just a level editor with a way to make skins for characters and nothing more. Dreams has a lot of selling points, but almost none of them are in this trailer, unfortunately. The last portion of the trailer is about as long as the first portion, and it is a montage of creations made in Dreams. I think it should have been made more clear that everything you're looking at in this portion was made from scratch with the creative tools. It seems obvious to me now, but I remember when watching the first trailers for Dreams that I had no idea what I was looking at. Even when the devs told us multiple times that everything was made in Dreams, I still thought they were probably cheating somewhere, just like in Little Big Planet. Because they couldn't have possibly made those textures, those characters, those sculptures and that music with the exact same tools as the players will get, right? Well, apparently they did. And to get further confusion out of the way, I think the trailer should have told the viewer directly that yes, every single thing was made in Dreams. The last point I want to make about the last portion of the trailer is that it does not show that you won't just be creating levels. A really important distinction between Little Big Planet and Dreams is that in Little Big Planet you could only share your made levels with the community and nothing else. While in Dreams it's also possible to just share assets or music. You no longer have to slave away for days just to be able to share something with the community. But the trailer doesn't make that clear. I think that it gives us the impression that we're looking at a level creator, not a complete game engine. In the end, I think the biggest mistake this trailer made is that it didn't really explain much, while simultaneously not explaining that it didn't explain much. It's the concept of not knowing what you don't know. If you already think you understand something, you will not go looking for more information, and I think this concept might be the underlying reason why the marketing hasn't really gotten people excited. To rephrase this idea, the reason for lack of excitement is not just that people don't understand what Dreams is, it's that people think they do understand what Dreams is and base their purchasing decision on their personal interpretation of the game, though that interpretation is based on incomplete data. It's like judging a restaurant by the items on the menu that lays on top of the table, while not knowing that on the underside of the table there's a second menu with 10 times the amount of choice. Just like you can't really blame someone in this restaurant for not looking under the table, you can't really blame people for not searching for more information on Dreams when it isn't made clear to them they still know virtually nothing about the game. This far into the video I've been focusing on this one trailer, but this problem is apparent with every gameplay video of Dreams, and I think it's just because there's too much to do in Dreams and to explain about it that it's barely possible to get everything in one neat 2-minute video. For everything they choose to show, there are 2 things they have to leave out. And I'm sure that every scene in these trailers are carefully picked. I'm sure multiple debates have happened about what to show, but unless a different approach is taken, I have a hard time believing a completely convincing trailer is possible. And by the way, when I looked in the comments of some of these Dreams trailers, I saw this not knowing what you don't know problem a lot. I saw for example a guy who was disappointed he wouldn't be able to play the game because he was sure the game requires move controllers. I saw someone who wasn't interested in it because he thought it was VR only. I've seen countless people who claim they're not creative and don't want to give the game a chance. And look, I don't want to claim Dreams is for everyone, because it isn't. But I think a significant portion of the people who have already rejected it or gave up on it would actually enjoy it, and it would be a shame if they never realized what they're missing. A completely different problem that Dreams faces right now is a lack of marketing in general. E3 would have been the perfect place for a 15-minute demo that shows off all aspects of the game, but it got completely ignored there except for some transition screens. For a game that desperately needs more people to know about it, it's really disappointing to see Sony hide it away, only to be found by the people who actually search for it. Traditionally, Dreams was also shown off at events like Paris Games Week and Gamescom, as they're a European studio, But while they had physical booths at these events this year, there is nothing to show to the general public. Game Informer has done an exclusive coverage month for it this October, but if you look at the views these videos got, the best viewed video got about 40,000 views, and almost all other ones got under 20,000. And these videos are really good at showing the game. At this point, the only way to make people find out about the game is if Media Molecule sneaks it into a showcase that many people will watch regardless. That's why I hope Dreams will get a new trailer at the Game Awards 2018. This time longer, more dense with information, and most importantly, they need to stimulate people to search on the internet and find out more. If they manage to convince regular people of the game, Dreams could become one of the ps4's biggest hits. Probably not one of the best selling games, but I could totally see things like Dreams streaming and Dreams memes getting really big if enough people play it. Even if they don't release a new trailer, the Dreams beta will launch this year and it just might be the spark that sets off the chain reaction. But that's all I have to say on this topic. Thank you for watching this all the way through. Like I said earlier, I want to make a follow-up video that explains my vision for how Media Molecule should market Dreams. Expect that one to come out somewhere in the coming weeks, unless something extraordinary happens and that video becomes pointless. Anyway, I don't want to drag this out even further, so see you around.